Hey Munchkins, welcome back to the channel. Well, with only 6 months to go until I head off on my trip, thought it'd be a good idea to do a lessons learned video, lessons learned to date. So this is going to cover things like the handling and the luggage development that I've done so far, the balance, the weight, fuel range, my camping gear, the whole package basically. All right, lots to look at, so let's get into it. It feels amazing, the balance of the bike. It just feels slightly heavier than it does with no luggage on it, but the geometry all feels the same. Front wheel balance and steering feels more or less the same. Fuel I'm carrying for the first time, 5 litres of fuel, seems to be sitting alright. When that gets down to about 200 k's, I'll stop and put that in. Yeah, feels good. That's all the camping gear I'll need for the trip. For any trip, for any camping trip. Tools in this side. 3 to 4 litres of water in the other side. Helps balance the front wheel, offset the rear wheel. Yeah, it feels good. Right, well, we can go on this short dirt section and then we're going to head over towards Loxton and camp the night. Fuel bladder hasn't moved. It's a good sign.
An 85 range still, that'll change. It registers the fuel that I just put in. Found a little bit of a sandy track side the road, quite Loxton. Let's see what it feels like. Just taking it easy. Feels alright, feels nice and balanced. A little bit sideways. Doesn't feel too bad though. I think that's good practice. Good to get the feeling.
Righto, lessons learned. Where does all this testing and riding take me to? So I've split my learnings up into things that can improve and things that are good so far. So things that can improve, some of my camping gear can probably be refined a bit for motorcycle riding, tarps and some of my cooking gear and that sort of thing. Securing the duffel bag, I need to have a better solution for securing that. It moves around a bit. I'm going to take a double Thermarest inflatable mat, two mats rather, for the comfort, to one on top of the other. So doing that means that the two move around. So I'm going to need a solution to stop that. That's in lieu of the small camp bed and the foam mat. I'm going to ditch those in favour of two Thermarests. A bigger tarp I'll need to cover for wet weather, to cover between the bike and my tent. The fuel range indicator I've worked out is not very accurate. It underestimates the distance that you've got left. So the odometer clock will say that you've travelled, say, 100 kilometres, but the range estimate will say you've only travelled about half that. Whether that's because of the level of fuel I put into it, I go past the neck almost to the top of the tank. So it might just be over 19 litres. That might be the reason. But I'm experimenting at the moment with taking 5 litres of fuel with me. So I'll run the tank dry and then compare that against the odometer to see what the range is. I'll need to do that for off-road, purely off-road as well. So that'll come over the next 6 months when the cooler weather comes, probably. I'll do some more remote stuff, some more remote area camping. Some of the good things, the weight distribution is good now with these panniers down low. Feels really good. Even off-road in soft sand. A ride I've just done was pretty stable in soft sand. I was only going slowly, but you know pretty quick if the load is unstable, and it just felt solid. The tyres was the next thing that worked really well. These dual 50/50 on off-road tyres are really good. They're excellent on the highway, on the hard roads. They're not noisy like a lot of normal tyres can be. They're grippy. They're good in the soft stuff, and they're good on surfaces, dirt roads that are loose with pebbles and gravel and that sort of thing. Feels very stable. So that's very confidence inspiring. I will be swapping them to knobbies probably in Darwin to come down the centre of Australia. Just on that, I've decided to do the Udina data track rather than try and cross the Simpson. The Simpson is just going to be all sand. It's probably a bit much for me with a bike this size at this stage. That might be the next trip though. But certainly from what I've seen, the Udina data track, there will be ample chances for sand there. Also in WA, and South Australia, obviously, north of South Australia, there's going to be, off-road work to do. The Garmin GPS and the position it's in has worked really well. I can read it really easily. It updates really quickly. So that's very confidence inspiring. The screen is the other thing that's worked particularly well. The screen can be adjusted on this bike on the fly. I've got the menu function here set to operate the screen. So that gives me good visibility, both on and off road, but gives me great protection. You might have noticed the videos over the last couple of days, they've been very windy. and I'm sure the westerlies will prevail across the Nullarbor and through the desert. That's about it so far, really. I reckon we're about 90% there, close to 95% there. I've got all my gear purchased, one or two little tools to collect, do some practice tyre changes. I've got to practice taking these wheels off to do repairs, so that's something I'll have to do. And I'll do more dirt riding, more off-road riding, but that's all coming back to me now, and yeah, it feels good. She's a big bike, but I've got it balanced out well. I've got the luggage refined. So the next 6 months are just going to be training and camping, practicing, refining the solutions. Click like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.